Good morning, good morning. What's up, folks? What's up, Navy Plum? What's up, Strife? How are you guys? I am going to get my screen sharing started here. If you're watching on the YouTube feed, bear with me for just a moment. My Discord crashed when I went to go get my stream started for our trading community. So let me get that back up and running. All right, it looks like I'm back connected. Sorry about that. As soon as I tried to start my screen sharing, Discord decided to crash. All right, let's try this again. Go live. There we go. All right, and let me get a quick announcement out in the chats here. In the meantime, what's up, Strife? Good morning. What's up, Navy Plum? In the meantime, if you guys have questions or tickers you want to go ahead and start popping in the chat, feel free to do so. I'm just going to go share with everybody that our live stream has started. Chat. Let's stop the chat as well. Okay. I am back. There we go. All right, let me get my, whoops, I forgot to open that chart. Get my ES chart opened up here. What's up, Pixie Dust? What's up, The Muck? Rod Stew. Thank you guys for joining this morning. I appreciate it. Hope everybody is doing well. Kind of a weird day yesterday, price action wise, it seemed like. Again, I've got some stuff going on away from the market that it refuses to wrap itself up essentially, but there is light at the end of the tunnel trying to get more active and available. But just real quick, going to take a look at my supply and demand zones here on ES, see if we've cleared any out, which I'm pretty sure we have taken out at least one demand zone. Yeah, we've taken out a couple of demand zones. However, we are bouncing so far off this weekly trend. I know this looks like it was invalidated, but if we zoom out, to the weekly chart, you'll see that candles are still closing above. We did have this dip quite a ways down there below, but overall this trend line is still valid, and we are getting a pretty clean bounce off it this morning. So it will be interesting to see if the market overall decides to rally. We do have a downtrend that we're going to have to fight with up near the supply zone, so pay attention to that. And also just going to check to see if we maybe have another, so I could kind of see one possibly on the 4-hour chart. I just want to see if we have another downtrend, kind of a steeper one possibly forming. That could also help give us a little bit of a earlier entry possibly on things breaking out back to the upside. It's very iffy. If there is a trend line sitting there, it's certainly not the cleanest. So just kind of put that on the back burner or something you might want to be thinking about or paying attention to, but certainly nothing I would bet the farm on as far as a breakout of this trend or a rejection of this trend taking place, or breakout kind of confirming more upside. However, I do a little bit like this confluence here with 43.50 and a break over that potential trend line that we're kind of looking at. So keep 43.50 on watch over that. We could push higher. If that plays out, you heard it here first. If it didn't, I never said that. Or if it doesn't, I never said that. I kid. So anyway, futures looking okay. We're kind of idle, I think, based mostly on the fact that we saw sort of polar opposites in Netflix and Tesla's earnings reports. Tesla took quite the beat down. Let's see, we'll go take a look at that chart real quick. It looked like they were going to hold and bounce last I checked the chart, or at least hold up, and then I guess probably a conference call did not go well. I wasn't able to listen. I typically do try to listen into that, but this had me a little bit concerned, I should say, going into the earnings report. The fact that we were breaking down below this trend line that's been in place for quite a while, and here we are, kind of making leg down after leg down. So it's going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on here with Tesla. Are coming up on another demand zone here underneath us. Let's just take a quick look. I wonder if there's any kind of like real obvious bounce levels we're going to watch. Yeah, so I mean, there is kind of I'd say a pretty strong possibility of a bounce taking place anywhere in this 215 to 211, call it 212 area. So keep that on watch as far as trying to potentially catch Tesla for a long bounce if you're keen on remaining bullish on Tesla. It does kind of look like a head and shoulders played out as well, actually. So we might be finishing the measured move to the downside here. So especially if we get down to that demand zone, I think we'll definitely have completed it. So just keep your eye on things. Again, Tesla, kind of not great earnings report yesterday. Netflix, strong earnings report. So that has turned into a mixed market scenario here, pre-market. All right, let's just take a quick look at a couple of our trade plans that we've done before. If I could throw some light on NVIDIA, sure, we can take a look at NVIDIA. Save and close, yes, please. All right, so a few of the trade plans that we still have out there, kind of in the ether. Amazon. This is one that we did on Tuesday's live stream, I believe. Yeah, Tuesday's live stream, and got the breakdown below our put entry level, coming back to back test, or to test, I should say, the stop loss average down for this trade plan. So keep a close eye on this one if you're already in it. Amazon getting a very interesting move to the upside here pre-market. That let me just open up my other window down here. I guess it does kind of just coincide with the market overall pushing up. In fact, we're testing that 43.50 level as we speak. Why is that's bizarre. I think it's 43.50. My trading view has decided to do something very weird on one of my monitors. So anyway, yeah, keep an eye on it. On this Amazon trade plan. CrowdStrike, this is one that keeps trying to break out, keeps getting these bounces off of our stop loss average down level. It looks like it has finally broken out. This could wind up making a big move to the upside, so keep your eye on CrowdStrike. Ideally, we get some kind of a back test of this call entry level to try to catch a bounce. The world is not always ideal, though, so there is a little bit of a gap up here pre-market, so you could see a test of that before we push higher. Watch around 190.67, I'd say. There could potentially be a good bounce entry there as well. First price target still ways overhead, and at this point, with as far up as CrowdStrike is, unless you're catching kind of a perfect back test of this 189.72 level. So if you're going to try to play this 190.67, for example, or if you're going to chase the trade, which I do not recommend, 189.72 would be my new stop loss, taking an entry kind of up in this general area. So make sure you adjust the plan accordingly on that one. And then the other one, Broadcom, just wanted to talk about this one real quick. Played out to the upside for all of our price targets once. Kind of came back, and we could have recycled this one. Broke above, bounced, pushed up, caught this confluence just before it got to PT1 there, but never broke back down below the stop loss average down. Continues to bounce off that call entry / stop loss range there. So again, keep an eye on Broadcom as long as it holds 877.17. Looks pretty bullish to me. Okay, so let's get into some new tickers and trade plans for today. Thank you everybody for joining. Good to see a nice kind of group here today. So far, I've got a video that we'll take a look at for Terminator. What else do you guys want to analyze this morning? Maybe we can come up with some solid trade plans that you guys can put into effect and start to sort of, feel what it's like to fish for yourself a little bit. I mean, having the trade plan is definitely a huge part of it, but being able to execute on your own, if somebody does kind of hand you a pre-written plan, I think is a pretty good exercise or skill to develop. The trade desk, yeah, we should be able to get to that. I might even have some levels on that already. I used to trade that a little bit back in the day. Oops, why did I do Netflix? I'm at Nvidia. Okay, so let's see. Good old Nvidia has been an interesting one ever since that earnings report and breakout into the 400 plus range. Got some old trend lines here that aren't really a factor. This broke down pretty convincingly. I'm not too worried about watching that anymore either because of how significantly that was invalidated. Let's see, we do have a demand zone down here. That's not what I wanted. SPX. We can try to take a look at that. I mean, I don't personally, I'm more of a SPY versus SPX person myself, but we can certainly take a look at that. Oh, also just a quick heads up. In fact, I'm going to close this extra window down here. Let's actually just close up here. I'm going to leave this open. I don't know why I closed it in the first place. There's a rejection of that level trend line right there. So just keep that on close watch. That's kind of validating what I already said a little bit earlier in the live stream here, is this could be a very key level for us to watch. Maybe take this off the back burner just based on this reaction we're already seeing on this test this morning. Could be a good area trend line to keep on watch for catching shorts, although things are pinching down here with this bigger picture trend line. A break above 43.50 again, I think, could bring moves to the upside, pretty decent moves to the upside potentially. So anyway, do not mean to sidetrack us. All right, let's take another look at this real quick. We also definitely have a couple of supply zones probably up here. What's up, Chris? Good morning to you, buddy. How are you? Probably supply zone sitting right here. Be aware of that. This demand is gone. Yeah, there's not a lot of that I see anything that I would really call supply zone. There's, I guess you could have. No, that's. I mean, I don't know. Sorry, I'm debating a little bit about whether or not there's also a supply zone right here. Let's mark it. We'll keep it on watch for now. All right, so let's take a look at this on the hourly. Looks like we do have a new downtrend popping up here on the hourly. Yeah, right around this spot right there. So we do have some room before that becomes a factor. All right, let's see. Let me also just check one thing real quick, because again, Nvidia is still a little bit, I should say more than a little bit, in price discovery mode up in this range, although it is starting to develop some better support and resistances that we can actually verify, see on the chart. Yeah, I'm not convinced on that. Sorry, just checking a potential level there. Yeah, got something sitting right there. All right. I'm not seeing a lot else. And it's kind of a very interesting price. Just the way the price moved down like this is just kind of a weird setup, I guess, for lack of a better way of saying it. Just see if we have any sort of smaller time frame trends. It kind of looks like there might be one here, but it's iffy at best. And if it is, yeah, I mean, it looks like there was a trend line here, actually. We might be breaking out. So, could see NVIDIA make a move. Could see, yeah, things are kind of starting to add up to possibly see a little bit of a recovery move today. All right, so how do we want to take an entry on this is the question. For upside, where did things kind of look nice and confirmed? I have this is an old fib extension level. It's played out okay. It's not the cleanest as far as how the price is reacting to it, but it's pretty decent. I think it's just a little bit higher, but again, it's a fib extension, so we're sort of guesstimating when we do those. This was back when we were trying to figure out where could we find potential resistance on NVIDIA before those resistances have ever been tested. Which is always a fun little exercise, but I think so far they played out pretty well. That one just turned out to be just a little bit low, I think. At least based on where I'd like to take an entry, looking at the chart right now. So, that looks like a good entry. This is definitely going to be a first price target. Oh, wait, already a dashed line. Huh, didn't need to do that. Second price target. Let's, sorry, before I get all that, let me flip these on. I don't want to see these right now. Just check for confluences. I should have already been doing that. Well, our first price target, confluence with this S4 pivot, so I like that. Second price target, a little bit torn on this one. I'm going to go slightly conservative. I think it could go a little bit higher than this. But I think I'm going to actually shoot more for this 443.51 level. Then over that, let's flip these guys back on, see where our confluences are. Yeah, and that's also got a nice confluence there with the top of the selling pressure on Neptune. We have a supply zone here. So riding or trying to push this too much higher could be risky because we could reject this supply zone, but we'll have taken profits a couple times. You should have your stops already moved up to where you're, worst case, taking small profit. I mean, we're getting all the way up to this from an entry down here. You should be nice and green and not letting things go red or even break even at that point. So I like those three price targets to the upside. Stop loss average down is my next question. We are bouncing out of this. And this looks like I actually have an old either call or put entry level here. I'd have to go back and find the trade plan that coincides with this. If it's even still on the chart, it might not be. So I'm looking at an entry there. Yeah, and that's coincidentally coincides with the level that I like, coincides with this confluence down here at S5. So I like that there's a confluence at a price level I was already looking at. Let's go with that. All right, so there's our upside trade plan to the downside. Kind of eyeballing this level that I was just referring to a moment ago that we were possibly thinking about using as a stop loss average down. I think it might be one. Yeah, I think we want to shoot one level lower actually. So I think what we're looking for here is an entry. A standard old stop loss right here. First price target. Yeah, I could have a level here that I don't mark yet. Or this fib, actually, both of these fib extensions might have been just a little bit, well, they got mapped out just a little bit. Yeah, I think our level's right there. Do that. Yeah. Yep, that's PT1. All right, let's figure out where our next targets are. You know, I like this old price target that's already in place here as a PT2, actually. Could go a little bit lower, but I like taking profit there. It's, again, if I ever debate between sort of two levels that are close to each other, I'm going to go with the more conservative target, the one that gets me out of the trade for profit sooner, versus trying to hold too long, getting greedy, and potentially getting burnt. That's our third price target. No more confluences. Well, let's check these traditional pivots real quick. I wonder if those... Yeah, no confluences there at all, but that's fine. We've already got good plans in place, I think, on this one. So, this is our call entry. I will move this over to a different chart because I know if you're not me and used to looking at my charts the way that I have them set up, this could look like a lot of effing noise, which I understand. All right, so let's dump this into another chart. What's up, Chris? Doing well? That's what I want to see. Good to hear, Chris. Have you been yelled at yet this morning? Let me get some coffee in. There it is. So good. Now there's our old NVIDIA trade plan, actually the one I was trying to figure out where we put that together. Looks like that was it's an interesting spot for that to be. Maybe member selected tickers or a Thursday trade plan or something, Thursday morning. All right, so let's delete this, remove 13 drawings, yes. Let's get these out of the way. Let's pump this on the chart. Now we're talking. All right. So for our NVIDIA trade plan, ooh, I like this too. Here on the 5 minutes, that confluence, there's a good confluence here that if we break, I think does open up upside. It just adds, I think, validity to calling this call entry level where we've got it. There at 428.62, 333 SMA. That'll clear out all the SMAs as far as resistance, as far as the ones that I watch go. All right, let's pop this though onto a higher time frame. That way it's just a little bit easier for you guys to see it when I post it here, like I'm getting ready to do right now. What? How are you alive right now, Strife? I would be freaking out. Although, me personally, French press, way to go. All you need is a kettle, either an electric kettle or one that you throw on the stove, and French press and your coffee grounds. Also, get yourself a burr grinder. That's key. Grind your beans fresh. That makes a big difference. All right. So, NVIDIA trade plan, what are we going to do with this one? Well, we're looking for an entry over 428.62 with targets at 436.11, 443.51, and 449.39 with the stop loss average down at 421.41. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 413.90 support with targets at 405.78, 401.01, call it 401, and 394.95, call it 395 if you want. Stop loss average down at 418.98, call it 419 if you want. So that is your NVIDIA trade plan. I hope you guys, well, I hope we all actually, because this is definitely one I'm interested in, bank on this one. So, the trade desk, this is one that I haven't looked at in a long time. So thanks, Harry, for bringing this one back up, because I used to trade it quite a bit back in the day, and it's one of those ones that you just kind of move on, get focused on other tickers for a long enough period of time. You almost, not almost, you do, because I had pretty much totally forgotten that it exists. All right. Let's see. I do have some, it looks like just daily. Now I've got some decent work done on this chart actually. So that's good. That'll make things a little bit quicker. But like I said, haven't looked at this one in quite some time. In fact, it looks like the last time I looked at it was probably December of last year. So coming up on a year. Let's just get these all kind of normalized. I don't think I need this anymore. Okay, so I'm sure we have set some support resistances up in this range since the last time I looked at the trade desk. So let's get the map out real quick. Yeah. Just check this one real quick. Yeah, like that. Okay. This jumps out at me without having to look too far. Be right about here, but I want to double check where I've got this. And I don't think we're gonna have no price action for this. So I just want to make sure I've got this right where I want it. It's actually, you know what? I think it is a little bit lower. It's more down. Yeah. That actually looks better to me. I think this, I might have shot a little high on. That looks like it should be sitting right there. Come on. Where'd my price action go? There we go. Yeah, right here. All right, let's take a look at where we're sitting. I just want to see if we've kind of gotten any key levels figured out. Yeah, this is an interesting one too, actually. right about there. Yep, that looks pretty decent. That's annoying. You see a nice double bottom, but that's pretty close actually. It's close enough. I think we can use that. All right, let me just check this hourly chart real quick. Let's get a little bit closer to where the current price action is if we're going to dig down this tight on the time frames. It's another one that's in a little tricky area. No, it's right there. Not as tricky as I thought it was. Yeah, got it right there. Right there. Okay, let me see what that looks like. Like that. Okay, I think we're good for the upside. Let's just double check potential downside levels here. Already eyeballing this weekly support down here, but let's make sure that that is where we want to possibly enter. Also, need to figure out where our targets are. Interesting level here. Yeah, definitely something sitting right there. Okay. Do we have any kind of trends to be sort of aware of? Could have one. Let's see. Ah, that's not the candle I wanted. Kind of curious about this. Yep. That's pretty much where I was looking at it. Okay. So holding this uptrend that we're kind of just now bouncing off of, so that potentially opens up some upside room, in my opinion. Whoops. That's what I wanted to do. Something sitting right there. Downtrend could also have something sitting right. Let's see. Yeah. Right about there. It's got the touches. We're trying to break over it as we discuss. Let's see where our indicators are sitting. Yeah, I don't think this pivots. Well, this probably lines up with a PT2, where it's generally looking. So we'll keep that on watch. All right. So the question becomes entry for calls. All right. So this is maybe slightly risky. There's definitely we would be buying at some selling pressure here on the hourly chart, but I think a break of this downtrend and the fact that we're bouncing off a longer term uptrend could potentially send us through all that. That said, I think 81.73 is probably the first price target, but I debate a little bit with this rejection taking place right here. If we don't shoot just a little bit lower at 81.20, it's not shaving that much potential profit off and getting us out for some profit, I think, at a smart point in the trade. Over that, like I said, PT2 there at 83.71, and I think pretty clearly 85.54 would be my third price target for this. Now the big question becomes stop loss levels. Yeah, I'm really I think that this just needs to be. I'm really debating. What I'm kind of eyeballing here is the 78.61 level. There is a pivot right there too, just below it. Yeah, it makes this kind of a tight trade plan, but I just looking at sort of how the price action plays out between these two levels. If we get over 79.32 and don't continue to the upside, I wouldn't want to be hold below the 78.61 because there's just lots of resistance, and even when it does push a little higher, it just gets us back to the call entry level. So it's, yeah, probably a little bit of a tight stop loss on this. You could give it down, to 78.44 if you wanted to give the trade a little bit more room. I wouldn't give it too much more than that. I mean, the point of setting up these plans is to have smart risk reward ratios, and I think, going down to the next level that kind of sticks out where, yeah, there is a confluence with the trend. So I mean, really draw this trend line. You could use that as a stop loss also. At least it's kind of continuing to push things to the upside if you do use that as your stop. But yeah, from a horizontal pure support resistance standpoint, I don't 78.61 just looks like to that 78.44 level. I mean, split the difference or do whatever you want with it, but somewhere in that little range, I don't think I want to be holding calls below that. All right, downside trade plan. This was kind of sticking out to me. Would also constitute at this point a break of this ascending trend line. Put stop loss though. There is a level I think sitting right here that I just don't have. I haven't charted yet. Yeah, there's something sitting right about there. Price targets below that becomes the interesting question. I think it's the 74.45 level. First price target. Below that, yeah, it's daily level for sure. And then below that, yeah, I would just take it. I'd take it all right there at 72.44, to be honest. If it drops below that, it could drop quite a ways. I mean, honestly, below 72.44, it looks like it goes down to 70 essentially. So, if you want to hold a free runner for kind of a long shot price target down there at 70, but that's where those levels seem to stack up, in my opinion. All right, let's hide these just so it's a little less confusing. And I'll do kind of something similar to what we did with NVIDIA. We'll just grab sort of the key stuff from this chart here. Pop it onto another layout so it's easier to follow if you guys need to look back or save these chart images somewhere or something. Oh, the crack. Oh man, I got my fiance a espresso for Christmas. Was that last year or year before? Best investment. Just because if you don't feel like making a whole like French press, just throw a pot in there, and I I like it a little bit better than a Keurig. Makes frothy coffee. That's what I call it. But iced coffee maker, that would be pretty dope. I'm down for that. All right, what are we looking at? The trade desk. I do need a coffee sponsorship, actually. Actually, no, I actually have a friend. I don't know why I haven't like reached out to him and gotten some meat. I got a buddy of mine who actually started his own roasting business not too long ago. So that's I need to hit him up for some beans. Long story short. Yeah, like I said, this is a really tight window, but this thing breaks. I mean, it should move. If it doesn't, I say keep the stops tight. I might be too tight on this stop loss. So if you buy enough time on this, use that trend line. That's what I would say. Use this trend line. Sorry, the ascending one. Oh, okay. I'll check that out, Harry. Appreciate it, buddy. Also appreciate you asking about the trade desk this morning. Here is the trade desk trade plan. It's still in the box because we already. So what's the difference between the Keurig ice coffee maker and yeah, French press, Harry? Way to go. So what's the difference between a Keurig iced coffee and a regular Keurig? I mean, does it? Yeah, I mean, iced coffee. I've kind of maybe just always wrongly assumed that you just make regular coffee and cool it off, but I could be totally wrong about that. All right, so for the trade desk trade plan, what are we looking for here? Well, we're looking for a break over 79.32. That should give us targets at 81.20, 83.71, and 85.54 with a stop loss average down at 78.61. Like I said, a little bit of a tight stop loss there, but is what it is. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 76.50. That should give us targets at 74.45. 73.35 and 72.44 with a long shot free runners only price target at 69.97, stop loss average down at 77.92. Yeah, I've heard about these AeroPresses. I have not personally had coffee made with one or used one, but they do sound interesting to me. I get the idea, but yeah, I mean, for me, I'm old school, man. French press, fresh ground beans, and a hot kettle of water. All you need. Yeah, Harry is the best salesman, the world's greatest salesman. All right, let's see. We're about 15 minutes out from market open. I think that I'm gonna use the extra time this morning, not running too close to market open, to get the SPY plan put together. So I'll go ahead and start working on that here in just a few. We'll get that into the options watch list. I know L Crack was asking about that a little bit ago. So L Crack, make sure you check the options watch list here in the next 10 minutes or so. You will see a SPY plan there, totally ready for you to go. Posted every day. Just follow it. You should do very well. Make sure you're waiting for those confirmed breaks and make sure that you're using all the levels to your advantage. ES 4360, you say? Yeah, let's do a quick check-in on that. Yeah, it's trying to push through. It's breaking over this trend line a little bit. So yeah, we could see a push there. I think I also saw somebody, who was it? Navy Plum, I think? Somebody mentioned. Yeah, Navy Plum mentioned that NVIDIA is already trying to break our call entry level. So it's trying, but keep a close eye on it. Do have a little bit more resistance overhead here as far as Neptune's concerned, but I think again a confirmed break of that call entry level, we should get enough momentum to flip that back to the bullish side. All right, so with that, thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. We will be back next Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tuesdays and Thursdays we are here doing our thing, so make sure that you come back and join us at least those couple of days each week, and we'll also Still kind of trying to find a way to maybe fit in some Sunday kind of afternoon, evening live streams where you know, we can get a little bit more in depth and we'll be less pressed for time. It's just a matter of me finding the time to do that, and I'm juggling a bunch of stuff right now that, like I said earlier, hopefully a light at the end of the tunnel with that. So anyway, yeah, I know I'm trying to make it happen, man. At least then you could join, maybe have a live mic. Nobody at work is gonna come yell at you because you won't be at work. So like win, right? That's the optimal outcome. All right, so with that, I want to wish you guys the best. I will see you in the chat for the most part today. I do have a lunch meeting that will probably run long, from about 12 to 2. But yeah, coffee and charts, let's do it. I'm going to hit you guys with the plan your trades, trade your plans. All right, so with that, like we say all the time here on the Xtrades FOMO live stream, make sure that you're planning your trades and trading your plans. Go out there, get some green. I will see you guys who are here in the Discord with us, in the chat. For those watching on YouTube, again, Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are here at the Xtrades Discord and broadcasting live to YouTube. You guys have a fantastic day. I will see you guys in the chat. Talk to you soon.